Hello. Noticing drop frames. Yes. Is it still, how is the stream quality? Can you hear me? Is everything, everything okay? I'm not sure. This is possibly due to, these high winds that we have that are coming through right now. It's a fucking hurricane outside right now. And I'm wondering if that has something to do with it, but I don't know. Maybe Spectrum just sucks. It's out of sync. Audio quality is kind of bad. Well, I'm just gonna, I hear and sync okay. Okay, I'm just going to power through it because I really just want to finish this fucking game. We're gonna go until it fucking dies. Either we finish the game or it dies. We will see what happens. Super fun way to finish out the game. Keep shifting off red live and turning gray, but that's lag. Okay. Let's do this. Let's fucking power through. I'm ready. Chill, clap for us. Yep, don't know how to fix it. Oh, so many angry things. Drop frames detected 25% over the last 2 minutes a few seconds ago. Yeah. Okay. We will power through this. Because this is the last day, this is the last episode, I just want to be done. We keep on losing this shit. Yeah, it's not crazy out of sync, it's like half a second. I haven't been able to do the Phoenix Wright thing for several weeks now because of internet issues. And now, internet issues continue to be a thing. I don't know what to do. I don't really know what to do here. It's not even just not hooked up to an Ethernet. It's just straight up, it's dropping frames. It's the weather. Chill is so far away from the sun, just takes that long to reach us. Yes. It's gotta be it. Alright. Let's just do this. Whew. Makes sense now. There's science behind it. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief. He's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe! I'm not a detective anymore. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office. My office? Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. Could he mean Maya? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it anyway. Chief Gant's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Oh, it's not right that he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said. But Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks. What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his rights to say anything, too? Emma! Are you okay? Yeah. When I came in, I was in the medical office. When I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before.
Space just donated $351 to the Doggo Snack Fund. Woof. Blaze it.
What? Hold on. Do we still have the... Yeah.
Smoke weed every day.
Holy... Wow!
Thank you!
Jesus Christ, thank you, Space. Oh my god. Wow. And we still haven't even done the movie night. Oh my god, my life is a mess right now. Wow, thank you so much, dude. Alright, dude, okay, we gotta finish out the case. Alright. Oh. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah. Now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Did Maya get murdered? No, she went off to be a full-time medium. She wanted to be a small medium at large. So she went off to go study under waterfalls and whatever other stuff. So we get Emma. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside to force herself to do anything and everything the Chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you don't want to blame, if you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait here? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. Hooray! We're all friends. Oh my god, I was so close to a save point. Onward and upward! February 25th, 2:21 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. It's time to end this by being continued. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand? Ms. Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years.
Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth.
Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister.
Overruled! Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant.
Everything hinges on your testimony. You are the only chance we have to get Gant.
Gant and the Fabrication.
Ooh, that's my favorite Harry Potter title.
Harry Potter and the Fabrication of the Truth.
I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found the prosecutor marshal's body, I rearranged the crime scene.
The judge has an objection!
My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma.
Are you sure about this testimony?
Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana...
If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this.
That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me.
But what if she's telling the truth?
She's not. I know my sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony.
Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Do. I worked along Gant for years. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see. I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years.
Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases.
She must have been good, coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why... There's no truth to this blackmail theory. But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what did you do? But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana.
So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago.
When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. Whoops. You say you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken Prosecutor Award's knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. Guys. Oh my god. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life.
Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement.
You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark?
Something like that.
If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife.
Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. Ah, all just to protect me.
So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to.
Yes. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife planted inside the wound, then moved the body.
You planted the tip of Dark's knife wound in the body? But why? Why would you do that?
You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of others?
But why did you do that?
Come now, Mr. Wright. Even you should be able to figure it out.
Very well. Let's add this to the witness testimony. The reason Ms. Sky fabricated the knife.
I knew the tip of the weapon found buried in the body would be all the proof we needed.
According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was the murder weapon, right?
Yes, and leaving it at that might point the blame away from Dark. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted would be by having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body.
So you buried it inside the victim's stab wound?
Yes, because I hated Dark for what he did. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma.
So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer?
How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence? She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying! Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone! I've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction.
Worked alongside... Okay, so what kind of evidence do I have to present? Evidence law. It's not that. Piece of cloth. Is there something with this?
There's a dark red stain here. Looks like blood. This piece the chief has is different, though. The blood stains on the other pieces are just spots, but this one's a line.
That is odd. Okay, let's see here. No truth, fabricated evidence 2 years ago, all by myself. All by yourself. I wonder...
This is a handprint, right? Yeah, someone left behind an oil stain on the fabric. Whoever it was, they must have had a really oily hand. Mr. Wright, think about it scientifically. Huh? A more likely explanation is the person slipped and fell on a freshly waxed floor, getting wax all over their hand.
Well, that would account for the amount of oil, I guess. I don't see what's so scientific about it, though.
It happens, you know. I always slip on the floors at school after they're waxed.
No. I figured. Okay. Broke off the tip of the knife, pointed it inside the wound, then moved the body. Found his muffler, small tag attached. Okay. Tip of the wound, tip of the weapon found buried in the body would be all the proof we needed. Let's get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. It's gotta be this line. It had everything to do with Emma. It had everything to do with Emma. But what evidence? Piercing heart and lung, died from blood loss, weapon wound. Weapon found in wound was missing tip. Writer help. What's the prompt? Only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. I feel like it's the thing that they want me to address. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what piece of evidence is supposed to go to what in this instance. Piece of the urn that made to say Emma. No. Was in the safe hidden. Okay. What if it is the... Oh, no. There's no... Is this... Yes, I pressed every line. There were bits where... What's it called? Let's see. Where did you move the body? When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body?
It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Kent's desk.
But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there?
The reason for that is simple.
Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body.
The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. body, pieces of the jar shattered. Pieces of the jar? You mean... Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body.
So, when you first found the body, the jar was already...
Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you look at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have have been broken during their struggle.
I see.
What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed? But I have a feeling there's more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister.
You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered?
If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction? In my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the evidence threaten my plan." That's right.
Do you have a problem with that?
It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not have been broken before he died. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar.
Good. Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here.
Something critical?
Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed.
What?
Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth.
Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. But it was dark in the room, and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
You mean you were the one that wiped away the message in blood?
I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence.
Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
So the jar was already broken. It's a miracle that the thing hadn't broken earlier.
It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case, but not as feeble as the judge's judgment. You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces?
Normally I would have. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. Well, that helps my case. Lana, you'd do that for me? It seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came.
This is rather shocking.
To be safe, I wiped away the blood. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened.
What do you mean?
If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Lana, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all.
I thought maybe. I want the safe. I want the safe to be a part of my evidence.
All I could do was think about wiping the... Oh wait. Press it. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. So, you illegally rearranged the crime scene. Yes, I don't have any excuse for my actions. I'm sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I've treated you so badly all this time. It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident.
No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office.
More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony. Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Final possibility. Okay. Keep going. It's dark in the room. I didn't have time to check it out. You didn't have time to check it out, but you said that you got all the pieces because they're large. How could you possibly know that? Let me see if I wiped away the blood. Let's do this. Oops. There we go. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the Chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it.
But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them.
Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you.
But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece?
I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective.
That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures.
Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken.
Oh, that.
There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness.
I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs.
The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide the fact for 2 years? I like how his mouth was moving and it was just ellipses. Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that?
No!
Is the judge actually Gant?
Wait, I'm not the one on trial here.
Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence.
But why would Chief Gant do that?
In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear?
What happened afterwards?
Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the chief's puppet. Ow. Fuck. No! I did it on my own! Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up their most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client.
I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth.
Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap?
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright?
Lana may be right after all. What do you mean, Wright? So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Skye, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw.
All right. The witness may testify once more, for the final time.
I like how they just keep on mentioning, this is final, this is the end, this is the last bit. And it's like, it's always like the final bits. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor's sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent.
Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor's sword?
You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture.
I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture there somewhere. Hey, there's a picture here. Now, hold on. Isn't this ironically in contradiction of what the book is detailing? That you can't present evidence unless it's already been approved by the court beforehand? So, like, this is not, like, allowed, correct? Okay. This entire game this isn't allowed, the game, but it's kind of ironic that this kind of evidence is in a book about you can't present evidence without it being approved. Ah! This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contracted criminal affairs only after I rearranged everything. How did she get this picture?
Rules of evidence? Hogwash, I say! Hogwash!
But, again, like, how did this picture get taken and everything? And, okay. Mr. Wright! That piece cut out from his vest. That could be the cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe. What's this? This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth. It had fingerprints on it. Whosever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright?
Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. The real mermaider! Mermaider. Very well, very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on the... Uh-oh. Oh, no. Come now, Ajay. This is our poorest excuse for this is the poorest excuse for a trial I have ever seen.
Chief Gant.
What? Now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense.
I'm afraid it's too late for that.
What?
You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort.
This must be that risk we were talking about earlier.
Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck.
Ha! Got him!
Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements.
That was kind of sick, right? It was a pretty, as far as lines go in this game, that was probably one of the most hardcore. What do you mean?
The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence.
No, you can't!
What? What?
Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence?
No, I don't. But someone does.
Someone?
So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right?
Oh, yeah. I don't know why he got electrocuted there. Unless he's foretelling the future. And he's going to be electrocuted.
Something's that proved who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt.
Is that true, Mr. Wright?
If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer.
Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries.
What do I do now? I'd better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision.
Wow, if there was a fucking moment in this game that it just blatantly tells you to save scum, that's it.
Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? Can't show it. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. This guy has a chart of evidence that shows the process of mermaiding. So apparently for 420, Niantic has chosen Pokemon 69 for Community Day. They know what they're doing. Wait, 69. Voltorb? Which one is number 69? And isn't there a Pokemon 420? Hold on. Pokemon 420 is Cherubi, a cherry Pokemon. Ironically, Bellsprout, the weed-looking Pokemon, is number 69 and not 420. What are you looking at? So 69 and 420 are both plants. Yes, they are. Is there a Pokemon that would be more appropriate for 69? Because all I can think of are the Pokemon that are like two things instead of one. Like Weezing and Doduo. I mean, okay, there's the obvious, like, funny meme, sex, whatever thing. But, like, honestly, is there one that seems more, like, as a single Pokemon? 69. Lickitung. Oh, I think Toko's got it. Lickitung is totally the Pokemon that should be number 69. Oh yeah, that's good. I think Toko wins that one. But that's pretty funny that Niantic is being so fucking like, yeah, we're gonna lean into this. What? You lie, Chief Gant. You opened mine safe. I know what you would. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? Yeah, some people on the internet would graphically argue Vaporeon. Yeah. That meme is fucking out there. Whoever wrote that or actually believed that and wrote out their internal monologue. Oh. Oh, God. Those people only learned the 34 rule. You know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? And 420 is obviously Blaziken. Ooh. That's a good one, too. Ah, so many missed opportunities. Whatever. Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? I was the first person to arrive at the crime scenes that day. It then occurred to me that I could use this situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her. I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Ms. Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and moved the body across the room. Keeps switching between Scotch and German. I'm just trying to do German. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dart convicted. What I tampered with, when I tampered with the crime scene, I hid two pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work. But it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for? A fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jaw fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar, too? Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Righto. Cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So, you admit it then, Chief Gant, that you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all, but it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have known it then, before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. Save scum! Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now.
All right then. Let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Your opinion, please. Nope. Okay, so it just wants me to show the damn handprint. Gotcha. Alright. Let's do it. Let's see what happens. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh, yes! At last, you finally brought it out into the open! There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather, there must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean, it could not have been forged? It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Wright had this all the time to present, had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Yeah. Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well. I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is... Emma? Emma Skye? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Oh! You're really something, Righto. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. How could you? You monster! Miss Skye, you knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Skye, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh? And what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant,
You are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask?
It was Emma Skye, wasn't it?
I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction.
What? A contradiction?
What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is.
Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict?
Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth.
The piece of evidence!
Is that a sequel to The Grapes of Wrath? This? It's fun watching you squirm, Righto.
Your outward appearance of mental sanity!
What am I doing? If this cloth was cut from Prosecutor Marshall's vest after he died, then something's definitely not right about it. It's too late to turn back now. You're the only one who can put an end to this, right? So, there's no blood on it. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Skye took. Take a good look at it. Obligatory.
Look at this graph!
See where the piece of his vest was cut out?
Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though.
Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth.
Oh, but that piece of cloth. Wait, there's no blood on it.
Since Emma Skye's fingerprints are on the cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time.
No, this is nonsense!
Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Ms. Lana Skye, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword? Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they had broke on purpose to leave behind a clue.
and make Lana believe her sister did it.
Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. It's finally over.
Objection.
That was close, Righto. You almost had me.
Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations.
What do you mean you refute his allegations?
You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence.
Order! Order! What nonsense is this?
Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Uji? Earlier, old Wright here conceals that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Wright? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time.
Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence.
At such moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence.
But that's not fair.
Oh, did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laughs on you, son.
I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth?
True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal.
Well, Mr. Wright?
It seems, at last, the time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived.
Mr. Wright, do you admit to it that you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth?
I did not. I admit I refused to present it at one point. So the evidence is illegal! No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't?
There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence.
No, Uji! Don't listen to his lies! He's nothing but a coward! You can't but...
There's only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not?
Very well. Let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now.
This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law.
What's this?
I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth. Nothing more.
What?
You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself. Inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule number 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here is the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident.
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall, when was that picture presented?
That was shown only a few moments ago.
No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh, yes. No! It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant. The killer was you. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. Snooping and stooping.
If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you gotta help me.
Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking the evidence out, he said, "It's not too late. I'm gonna hand all this over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it. That accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Yeah. leaving the prosecution's car aside. How? How could you get Ms. Sky involved in all of this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So, you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments and the glove. Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of the crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They all did their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Oji.
What?
Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend.
I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be, long ago. You were once a fine investigator, and an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person.
Those days are gone now, Oji. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Wright here. Und Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear some already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant help me forge evidence, up until today.
So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered.
I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My. What high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it to the top. Ah, I don't like it. Don't smile. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Ms. Sky. And to you too, Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. Now to make world peace. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth.
Stop it! In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky.
Yes, Your Honor?
You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling?
It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I've felt free of these heavy chains.
Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Ms. Lana Sky. That is all. This court is adjourned.
At long last, it's finally over. Emma! Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended. I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well. You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later.
Wait, Detective Gumshoe. What is it?
You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run around all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happy... And to top it all off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding.
Oh, are you here because of my sister again?
Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal.
Me?
That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone.
Lana!
Should you be doing this?
She's still under arrest, you know.
Well, I won't tell if you won't.
Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago, was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis, I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis, I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Emma.
Where is it?
No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it's from there that we can move on toward a brighter future. At least, that's what I felt. At least that's what I felt, watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe.
Me?
Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again, someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. Where was he hiding?
I just came to say, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Right. Well, I'll be going now.
Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you.
It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realized today that I can't correct my mistakes.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right.
You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me? We're the same.
One day you'll understand.
Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone.
I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue as a prosecutor.
Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said, in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright. Show him what Lana's talking about.
Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own? My attorney's badge! It's finally relevant! I don't know, this? I guess that evidence wasn't right. It's time for me to go.
Mr. Edgeworth?
If you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor.
Edgeworth! What will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember. You can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you.
I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, Mr. Wright. But what I face now is my problem.
Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court.
Farewell.
I better be going too. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation? It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will.
And so another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me,
I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Everyone's leaving! No!
Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal.
Huh? What is it, Detective?
There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this.
But I thought you said it was okay.
Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story.
Huh?
Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either.
Huh? Way to go, Detective. I didn't know you had a wild side.
Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here's the one who'll be footing the bill.
Huh? Huh?
What, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal.
Huh? 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 Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best.
Why is it I suddenly feel like I want to scream? Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. I hope she'll be pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma.
Oh, this is about to be a very long end sequence, isn't it? Yikes! I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalize you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. Just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easily. Ending the game with a big old bump of cocaine. We found this in Chief Gant's locker too, saving it for a special occasion. I'm not gonna pay the price with little Uwu Umu's butthole. Oh my god.
My new mission is to get... Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them though. Someday I'm gonna make detective. Yes, sir. Then I can be just like that Dick Gumshoe.
Had to be at least one more of those, didn't it? Hush. God damn it. Yay! The Blue Badger.
I'm Mr. Minkins. Bork at me.
Oh no! He learned a new move. I guess that's why they call it break dancing.
Funny joke.
What is it? Can't you see I'm having me a showdown with the steak lunch partner? Miss Starr managed to sneak this into me. Well, cowboy, looks like you did it. You even give Bambina back her smile. And you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller.
Just make sure not to eat it backwards. Ben Judd. Holy crap, I know a guy named Brandon Gay. We went to elementary school. I'm not even kidding. Like, Toko knows him too. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? Anyway, he said he's been doing something or other for a... Yeah. Well, anyways, I've got another trial to go to. So I better be off. Huh? Oh, no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, got to go. I told you they had wings. Yep, he remembers. He remembers. Ah! Nothing, Susan. Oh, ah. She's scared. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya, afternoon training's about to begin. Coming! Well, see you around, Nick. Yep. I thought he was talking about maxi pads. But yeah, that was during the sex ed talk in 6th grade. Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, I brought you your tea. What's going on? What's going on? Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. Oh, I guess I have to open the book now. Hooray! But what happened to Edgeworth? No! No, Capcom! What happened to Edgeworth? Edgy! Edgy! Wahoo! Blaze it! So that was that one. I guess we'll be starting Ace Attorney Justice for All. Huh. We did it! We finished the thing. Blaze it! I did it. So how'd you guys enjoy it? Was it good? Was it fun? While y'all are typing your thoughts, there's one thing that I gotta update here. Do. And that. We have gained a lot more
subs. Objection, partner. Cowboy Lawyer was the best one. Objection, partner. I did enjoy the characters in the last bit. I like doing Mr. or Officer Meekins, but it was kind of annoying that his little voice box would set our dogs off so much. Ooh boy! Really? We don't see any of them? They're all done. Oh, okay. Well, that'll be fun. We got new... Yeah. We get a bunch of fun new people on trial, though. Yep, 698. 2 subs from the goal.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been a very, very successful stream. Even though we had some technical difficulties at the beginning. Again, a huge
Thank you!
to Space for that nice donation to get us to 420. I wish we had more free time. We really gotta like knuckle down and do these extra streams that we've been planning. But certain things have been getting in the way. Dumb nugget. God. Join us on Friday. Be doing more Yakuza. Monday we'll be doing more Persona 5 with the Rat Pack. Tuesday be reading more Herder. And then Wednesday be playing more Super Metroid. Ryder, did you ever make a thumbnail for that, by the way? She says, no. What was I gonna say? One little note about Super Metroid that I want to let you guys know is I took a real quick peek at where I needed to get myself to keep the momentum going. So I didn't spend the first hour trying to figure out where to go. And so I just got to the place that will actually advance things forward for me, and then it'll be back to regular-ass Metroid. So the starting place is not, for next stream, is not going to be where I ended this last time. So if you notice that little detail, that's why. All I did was go from like the spaceship down to Norfair, and that's it. But I figured it was nor fair to let you not know about that little fact. Be like, man, I don't remember Chill being all the way down there. He's cheating.
Spliced run.
Yeah, pretty much. But anyways, that is what we got in store. I guess we will be starting Justice for All in a couple of weeks. So look forward to it.
More tread.
Exactly. Samus from Mortread. Anyways, like we always say, night night, and don't let justice bite. Good night, y'all.